I think to be home means to be around people and in a place that helps you discover the very best of who you are. I don't think we had mentors telling us that there was deep and rich opportunity in rural places. I think that's something that we've had to often discover on our own.
Western North Carolina is beautiful. If you grow up near the mountains, then being away from them, it's like there's a piece of you missing.
For many people that grew up in the area, I think we had a deep connection to the space around us. And then likewise, I think I started to become aware of the diversity of our community at a relatively young age.
Morganton is a melting pot. I think when you think of like a very traditional southern town, you're not thinking of what Morganton is.
Probably the biggest strength we have is our people. Growing up here, everyone knew the manufacturing industry that was here, but it didn't always have the best perception.
When you're put in circumstances where you don't have a lot of choices, you make the best one that you can, and that's very much what my parents and other refugees did.
Manufacturing isn't the problem. It's really how we go about thinking about work to develop not only people, but community as well.
Yeah, you just said you broke your foot.
One thing we want to do with our work at the Industrial Commons is reclaim some of these words and give a new imagination and a new definition and a new pride to what industrial means, what rural means, what cooperatives mean, and then what a worker means.
Molly and I met in 2012 when we started coming up with the idea for the Carolina Textile District.
This community was hit, as it had been for many generations, with a lot of economic instability.
What we knew was that we had a lot of assets here in the region around the textile industry, and then it was something that we should be leveraging rather than something that we should be forgetting. There were people all over the country that wanted to get products made in the United States, and we had to figure out a way to help them produce those products, but ideally here in our own backyard.
Is there another way to do work? Is there another way where more of those decisions can be held in our own communities? With Opportunity Threads, we thought, wow, this is interesting. It's putting a lot of people to work. It's giving people a dignified place to work. So it seems like if we had struck on this one opportunity, then we should see if we could recreate that in other ways. We don't want to just create jobs, because creating jobs isn't going to solve the questions of inequity and generational poverty. So we built the 501c3 of the Industrial Commons to incubate and support and connect businesses and frontline workers that were, trying to make industry, and particularly the textile industry, a more prosperous place to be. We want to create livelihoods. We want to create opportunities for people to find their potential and develop as humans. So that has to be grounded in articulated values. One of those is a deep commitment to racial justice, inclusion, and equity. We have a real deep commitment to environmental sustainability. We have a deep value around participation. So we're really about helping people in our communities find their voices. And then we have a deep commitment just to place in order for us to create transformational change and generational change as well.
How would I describe the Industrial Commons?
Was right earlier, that full 3,000 amount.
I would describe it as a nonprofit that creates for-profit businesses that are creating long-term change.
One of the beautiful things about our model is that it is a true economic ecosystem, and so everything is interconnected. All of the businesses are working together, they're referring clients back and forth to each other.
We're doing big things with a small group of people, and that's something different.
You have to be savvy. We want these cooperatives to be profitable. How we're going to do that is by deeply understanding the industries that we're in.
Sarah had wanted to talk about things we could do in this community to strengthen manufacturing. They wanted to solve the problem that I saw at my factory for years, was textile waste going into the landfill. Material Return is that one-stop shop for custom circularity. Whether that be you've got some old shirts and t-shirts, or whether that be you've got a weaving machine with weaving waste. No matter what, there's gonna be a home on the other side. So with the circularity, we're able to take whatever type of waste gets sent in. So if it gets t-shirt waste gets sent in, it's gonna be ground, turned back into a yarn, and then put back into a t-shirt again. It's amazing to see it grow so quickly. It's only been 2 years. Nobody had an idea of how to build this out and to make it work, but through all these great folks in our ecosystem, all within like 75 miles, we've got waste all the way to a yarn. That network we have, the experience we have, if it's gonna work anywhere, it's gonna work here. We have an awesome son. He's getting ready to be 6 in another week. He just graduated kindergarten, and they wrote on a piece of whiteboard what they wanted to be, and he had worker on there, and I was like, whoa. I think he understands, the kind of potential already for what you can do in manufacturing. It's not just a job, it's the way you learn to make things.
El miedo que yo tengo creo que viene de un lugar que se llama Aldea El Manzanillo. De ahí perdí yo el miedo. Ahí perdí yo el miedo de que mi juguete favorito era encontrar el árbol más alto en la montaña donde vivíamos. Y creo que el Challenger era hasta arriba. Yo me imagino que ahí perdí yo el miedo, de las ganas de luchar por algo. Eso viene por mi mamá. Pero de mi mamá estoy bien orgullosa de mi mamá. De todo el trabajo, desde que tengo uso de razón, pues sé que ha sido una mujer bien trabajadora, bien luchadora. Trato de pasar eso con los jóvenes que tengo. Me gusta pasar, tienes que ser responsable, luchar, trabajar, no quedarte donde estás. Sé que el líder es una persona que puede inspirar confianza a los demás, y que esas personas, o que los demás puedan tener una voz a través de esa persona, ¿no?
I think I'm most proud of hearing people's stories of self-development, because at the end of the day, the leader should be able to step back and the work continue. So that this doesn't just become an organization, but that this does become a movement for equity and inclusion and new models of economic organizing. We're beyond proof of concept, and we're actually now to scale where we can start to really impact hundreds and hundreds and thousands of workers.
We are growing, and we put people first.
Textiles in America is growing again. We employ about 900 people here. At every level, there are layers and layers and layers of expertise. We need to create more opportunities so that we can maintain and grow the really rich and extremely important talent base and generations of knowledge that is special to our area of Western North Carolina. Valdez Weavers and the Material Return and the Carolina Textile District and the Industrial Commons and everyone involved in this project is really good at finding ways to create opportunity for the next person to come along and grab the ball and run with it.
I've lived here my entire life, gone to school here. I've learned what I really value, and that's what I have here. And that's why I've come back to intern and work for the Industrial Commons. When you support people with good employment, they have better housing, they're able to support their kids, they receive a better education, and then they're better equipped to come into the workforce. It's all about how these things are connected and how we can pull these little strings by just supporting people to help them live up to their potential. And I think that's what I'd love to come back to, in a space where no one feels like they're born into disadvantage, they're born into opportunity.
I think there's a real appetite for, my goodness, like everybody's talking about this green new economy, but then what does it look like? Well, this is what it looks like. This is who it is. This is how communities are transformed.
Right now, we are founding and growing interconnected businesses, but I think our future entails a lot of other work in our community. Everything from developing a piece of property that we have bought to become an industrial campus, to potentially buying other businesses, getting into housing development. And so I'm not sure how big we will get, but I know that we will never stop looking for the next problem and figuring out creative solutions to solve it.
We work really hard to care for the place where we're in, to make it a place where everyone feels welcome and can have a thriving, equitable future.